It's West Coast Rob, man, and welcome to my podcast, You Bitch.
You are now listening to YeahDat the podcast, hosted by West Coast Rob.
Welcome back to another episode of YeahDat the podcast, hosted by yours truly, West Coast Rob. It's been a minute, it's been a while, but now I'm back. But before we start, the thoughts, views, and opinions you may hear on this show are just that, my thoughts, views, and opinions. So if you don't like them, you disagree with them, or what have you, well, there's a simple solution to all that, and that's just stop listening. But if you care to partake, hear what I have to say, sit back, turn it up, and let's go. Yeah, that. Okay, folks. Welcome back to YeahDat the podcast. Like I said in the intro, man, it's been a while. But welcome back. Thank you for coming back and tuning in. I like to give shout outs when I start this. So shout out to everybody who, amidst the whole, time in between episodes, reached out and were asking me, "Yo, what's up with the podcast? What's going on? When you doing a new episode, man?" Shout out to everybody who did that. Shout out to everybody listening right now. So shout out to everybody out there who continues to support and show love to the homie and the show. Yeah, that I got so much love for you. You just don't know it. So appreciate you. Thank you very much. But the last episode was way back when, at the beginning of the year. I believe it was January something. That was the last episode, I would say, of the first season. We did about 7 episodes. We did 7, 8 episodes, some like that. We had a good run. We had some good guests, good listeners. In my last episode, I had a natural professional bodybuilder Zach Belknap on there, and we talked about veganism. We kind of scratched the surface. We didn't really go too in depth. We touched bases on what it is, how he does it, lifestyle wise, etc. If you care to listen to that, then you can listen to it on any platform where you listen to podcasts, man. Spotify, Apple, etc., man. Yeah, that. Go check that out. But I got a lot of stuff to talk about, or somewhat. It's not too much. Just getting reacclimated to the whole podcasting process, man. It's been a minute, so please excuse me for any mistakes or however it sounds. I'm getting reacclimated to the whole process of doing this thing. And today's episode, we're just gonna go about talking about where I've been, man. What's been going on with me since earlier in the year, since you last heard my voice, the last podcast episode, and just go from there, man. It's been a while since I last did a podcast episode. I wasn't trying to be like, those folks out there who've, started a podcast or trying to do one and do 3 episodes and then just never do it again. I really enjoy doing this podcast. I really have mad love for everybody out there listening. So, it just wasn't no thing for me. My last episode, like I said, was earlier in the year, beginning of the year, January sometime. I started the podcast last year at the end of 2020. We went hard. Like I said, we did about 8 episodes, and we finished in January. It was really the end of season 1. We're just gonna say that because I had a lot going on in my life at the time. Getting ready to move. Yeah, so there was just a lot of moving parts going on in my life. So I had guests lined up and everything, and then it's like, then guests started to flake, and it just wasn't the right time to continue. Although there were several several times where I wanted to do a podcast from where I was at the time, whether that be Florida, Texas, wherever I was. I wanted just to pop open the computer, hook the mic up, and just do it. But it wasn't ready. It wasn't time. You know what I mean? I just wasn't supposed to do it. But I just took a hiatus, or I just ended season 1, like I said. Now we're back with season 2. So, like I said, I was getting ready to move, which I actually moved. I was previously living in Texas, in Fort Worth. So I ended up moving at the end of February or end of January, something like that. I don't even remember. It's been that long. Time flies, man. We're already in July, or almost in July. But it was at the end of January. I moved, or the end of February. I can't even remember. But took a little vacay. And during that time, I didn't just stop with the podcast. I actually I vanished from all social media, because social media, like, it's a good tool. I know you guys, you avid listeners and loyal listeners to the show, have heard me talk about it, like the pros and cons of social media, man. You can do so much with it. There's so much good you can do with it, but there's so much toxic stuff on here too, man, and it's not good for your mental health. So it's very, very important for people to take breaks in regards to social media, because it's not real, man. Half the stuff you see on there, man, is just so fake, and people are so fake on there, and it's the same monotonous crap. Everybody's doing the same thing. So I got to a point to where it was like, man, I don't want to be on here. I don't want to look at anything, nothing. So I just got off everything. I deleted everything and was just off there. And amidst the time of the process of transitioning from where I was living to where I'm currently living now, like I said, I got off social, and I really just shut everybody else out, even like close friends, those who I consider my brothers and all that stuff. I kind of just went off the grid, and just really focused on myself and on my family, my immediate family, and making sure everybody was good in regards to the new relocation and all that stuff. So for those of you who reaching out when during that process, and if I didn't get back to you, it's not because I don't fuck with you or nothing. It's because I was just taking care of myself and my family and making sure we were all good to go and kosher. And most of you guys who did reach out, I've since reached out, and everything is all hunky-dory. You know what I'm saying? Everything's back to normal again. But that's where I've been. Kind of got off the grid for a while, but now we're back, man. As I sit here sipping on my TX whiskey, they're not sponsoring me, by the way. It's just damn good whiskey. And I like it. I reflect on the time I did take away from social and going off the grid. I had a homie who went off the grid for years, actually. Like, he was one of my close homies, and I lost contact with him in like 2010 or something. And I would reach out to his old handles and emails and texts and all that stuff, and I actually got reacquainted with my homie about last year, I believe, if not a year before. And he just told me, he went off the grid. Like, he just had to get away and do his thing. But he would always say, like, I stayed up to date with you. I follow what you got going on. I went off the grid, but I had to do my thing. So I kind of went off of that. I kind of went off the grid for a while, just didn't do anything on social, and just it's a really good feeling. It makes you feel good because it's really toxic just being on social, every day, because you see the same BS. And my daughters, they're getting older now, and they live on the TikTok and all that stuff. So I try to embed that in their minds, like, hey, don't be glued to that. Don't go down them rabbit holes, because you will get stuck on it. So I make them take breaks and all that stuff, because I know what it's like. And then their minds are still young, so what they see on their apps is reality, and we're constantly having these conversations like, yo, it's not real. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother thing. I probably covered it before in past episodes, but I went off the grid. A lot has happened since then, since the time of my last episode in January. Homie got COVID shots. I've moved geographical locations, not going to tell you where exactly, but I'm on I live in a whole nother region. I've met new people. I work at a new facility, so it's a lot of change. I'm in a new house, a huge house. My house is 3,000 square feet now, and we moved in here, and my wife is just like, this house is too big. We still gotta fill, but we got one more room to fill, which is my media room. So taking my time with that, but whatever. I've come a long way from, actually, my wife and I have come a long way from living in one bedroom apartments, struggling, to now being able to afford a 3,000 square foot home and live comfortably. So a lot of things have happened, man. I finally got to meet my one of my brothers, one of my homies who I consider my brother. I finally got to meet his family, his wife and his kid. It's a lot of stuff has happened for the good, and like I said, sitting here sipping on my TX, would I do it all again? I would, because it's a necessity. You need to take breaks. You need to get off social. You just need to go and get off the grid sometimes. I highly recommend it, and just go clear your mental, man, because mental health is important, and just recognizing and appreciating yourself and those who love you and those who are around you. What you see on your phone that ain't shit. So take the breaks, take the times, for yourself and all that. And I guess all that comes with me and my new mindset that I have. I guess it's me being older, or whatever you want to say, but I noticed that my mindset is completely different now, vice what it was earlier this year, late last year. It's just like, to me, it's like I'm really starting to appreciate shit. Just trying to avoid conflict, trying to really live without negativity. I'm trying to avoid negativity, no drama and all that stuff, because in all actuality, there's no need for that shit. You can't get rid of it all. You're still gonna deal with it. You're still gonna have the bullshit and all that stuff, but it's how you cope with it, how you act with it, how you react to it. That's what's gonna really dictate your mental mindset and all that stuff. So I guess, I don't know if it's me being at the new place I work, and me being one of like the most senior people there, and it's just seeing how everything is run, and it's kind of like really, but I don't know. It kind of, my mindset nowadays is kind of like, all right, it's I don't know, it's really appreciative of life and things that people really take for granted. So, but anywho, coming up, man, with the podcast we're gonna have more episodes coming up, and we're just gonna get better and better. That first season we got our feet wet. We had our training wheels on with the podcast, and then we eventually got the wheels off, and we were riding, man. We rode 8 episodes strong. We had some good episodes too, man. If you ask me, you had some guests on there, and it's only going to continue and get better as we go on with the podcast, man. I got all kinds of guests lined up, from serious ones to funny ones. I got all kinds of guests, man. So please stay tuned, and just keep supporting the homie, because I do truly appreciate you guys. Like I said, the episodes are just going to get better and better, and I'm going to start implementing the actual footage, so you guys can actually see like myself and my guests, so you actually can get a visual of what you're listening to, put a face to the voices, to if you start to follow myself or my guests, you guys get to see us, and just put 2 and 2 together. So that's just a quick little update, man. Just let you guys know that we are back. I guess this is season 2, you can say. But thank you guys for listening. Please stay tuned for another episode of YeahDat the podcast, where we're just gonna go in on whatever it is we're talking about, man. The homie got a new mic stand, no whole new setup and everything, so we're gonna be legit, man. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm gonna be recording in my house. Right now I'm sitting in the office, which is really my wife's office, but I don't know if I'm gonna be posting up in here. As soon as my man cave or my media room is complete, then I'll probably be recording in there. And plus, if I'm gonna have the camera on, I want it to be legit. Oh yeah. So, but anyways, thank you guys for listening. Stay tuned to future episodes of YeahDat the podcast, and please make sure you like it, you subscribe to the show, you leave comments, what I'm saying, give me recommendations of the type of guests you want to hear, because the homie's a people person. I can get whoever, whenever on the show. So let me know. Whatever makes the show better and keeps you guys entertained, then that's what we're gonna do. So we're just growing with it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you for listening. Until the next episode, West Coast Rap signing off. YeahDat.